What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and I am back today with another video for you all. In today's video, this is going to kick off my new beginner essentials here. Just walking you through the basics. Especially, I've noticed my channel does focus primarily on the mid to end game players, so this is just trying to give back to those free-to-play players out there, especially those starting out, beginning in the game or just learning the ropes. This is going to be about the resource management of the game. So first and foremost, you guys, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to play Marvel Strike Force. I love the fact that there's so many updates, there's so much content. In my honest opinion, if you set goals for yourself, whether it's unlocking legendaries, unlocking specific characters that you like, you know, the ones that you feel personal attachment to, unlocking nodes, albeit anything that you guys have set in your game plan and you've hit it, that to me is having a good time and you're hitting your goals. However, I do gotta stress that there is definitely more efficient ways to play the game. And as I am a 100% free-to-play player here, this is my profile here. I've been playing for less than a year, so to be honest with you, I don't know how other free-to-play players stand in terms of collection power, but this is kind of what you can expect in a year. And for me personally, I've prided myself in doing a lot of research on who to invest in, characters to actually utilize that are actually meaningful in the game, as well as meaningfully using my resources, gear, materials, so forth. So that begs the question then. I do get this quite a bit, but they're always I always get a lot of comments saying, hey Rage, how did you stockpile so much power cores, or how much gold that you had? Like, it's insane that you have over 34 million. Honestly, for me, it's just about forming a game plan in terms of resource management. So I'll just walk you through my strategy that worked for me. And like I said, this is not a right or wrong way to play the game, you guys. This is just what I kind of valued and what I kind of makes me feel comfortable in terms of preparing for the end game. The end game being the Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4 nodes for me, and which is currently my next objective here. So with that being said, you guys, let's talk about my gold here. If you watch my videos in the actually the past few months, you're gonna see that my gold has actually been stagnant around 25 million to 30 million, and it's honestly just because I haven't used it. When you guys go through and get a chance to unlock Dark Dimension 1 and Dark Dimension 2 here, the initial ones, they actually give you a boatload of gold, as well as gold orbs and the mega orbs. And you know, this the culmination and completion of those nodes is essentially what's giving me the gold. So then that begs the question, you know, how come I haven't used this gold? Well, for me, there's a right time and a wrong time to use the gold, despite there not being a right way to play the game. And what I mean by that is, if you guys go ahead in the milestones here, we do get that daily high roller milestone, where essentially when you go through here, you're able to actually utilize the gold and then you actually get rewarded, right? So for me personally, daily, what I've been doing for the last month or two is I've just been hitting milestone 8 here for 650,000. And let me walk you through why. The calculation for the 650 here is that it gives you the best bang for buck for, as you can see here, this is where it stops off with the 15 power cores. But if you were to stop here, you get 15 plus the 10 plus the 5 up there. So you get about 30 power cores there in total. With that being said, you guys, so that begs the question, why am I not pushing it up to 825 here, or the 1 million here that you see where there's additional power cores? Because it loses value over time. So as you can see here, for an extra 350,000, you're only getting 15 power cores, whereas initially for the 650 there, you're actually getting a total of 30. So I mean, it just loses value over time, and that's kind of how I view the game in terms of, well, when there is a right time and a wrong time to be spending. However, there's an exception to this, obviously, right? So I'm sure you guys have seen it before too, but whenever the Emma Frost milestones does come out, what is that? Emma Frost is a character that was actually achieved, a very, very formidable character in the game that's achieved through the milestones, and they award you shards for spending in the game as well as just playing the game. But for her to be such an accessible character and to be this powerful, that's why I gotta take advantage, right? So when her next milestone comes around, I do believe that because they haven't announced it in the most recent patch, it's probably gonna be early January, mid-January, it's gonna come back. But with that being said, when she does come back, that's when I actually go harder on spending, and that's when I would just be really heavily invested in using the gold and actually making the most out of my money. So, because at this point, I'm basically just getting these basic materials that I can do all year round, right? So that's why I've been budgeting myself. And I think the common mistake here, you guys, is that I get a lot of players commenting saying, how did I stockpile so much while spending? Well, the thing here is you have to understand what your goals are, right? So my goal is Dark Dimension 3. If I'm going to make the most of investing already, I might as well just capitalize on those free MF Frost shards. I don't need to be in Dark Dimension 3 tomorrow. I don't need to be in it next week. It's going to be a grind already, building up the characters, especially when I'm already aiming for the mini uniques in the supply store. So if I know for a fact that I don't even have the materials for my characters, then there's not really a point in leveling them up just yet, right? So what I've done for my characters is the highest I've brought them up, like for instance my Black Bolt, I'm a huge fan of. I've only brought him up to level 71 because there's just no need to push him to 75 yet, especially if I don't have the materials yet to bring him to tier 14, right? So that's just an example, by the way. I'm not sure, to be honest, yet if I'm going to bring him to Dark Dimension 3 and 4, but that's just an example, right? So that kind of mindset is very important, you guys. You have to formulate that plan and be able to budget. So that leads to the next question then. You know, what is your comfortable range here that you can stockpile gold? For me, I determined it based on my 24-hour usage that I actually saved more than 650,000 in a 24-hour time frame. So I'm comfortable spending that, and my gold will still build up. So what I recommend for you guys is, you know, for instance, right now, the next time you guys before you start the day and start spending gold, stamp the time that you have. So let's just say hypothetically you woke up at 9 a.m. and you're sitting at 35 million gold. Then wait, do your normal thing as you normally would. See what kind of target you would hit. So go for either, I recommend either the 650 or the 825, as it's quite sustainable. And then next day, 9 a.m. same time, check how much gold did you have. Did you go down or did you go up? And that way you can kind of gauge what your burn rate is for your gold, right? So that's really big, and that really helps you manage kind of your schedule in terms of how much can you spend. Because like I said, you guys, you know, unless it's about unlocking a specific node in the game, unless it's about really bringing up a character that you really like, to be honest, it's just more efficient to kind of wait to use that gold when the time is right to maximize on those benefits. And another great example would be just the supply store, right? So for me, I'm always going through and taking a look when it refreshes for the materials that I need. That's another key usage I use the gold for. And if I don't see what I'm looking for, that's okay. I just walk away, right? So then that's what I mean. You got to have that restraint. You got to have that game plan in mind of how much you can spend per day, because that's really what's going to ultimately stockpile the gold for you. And you're going to feel a lot better knowing that you have that reserve for your investment, for your characters, for especially since gold is the universal spending in this game. You know, for gold, it's utilized for leveling up characters. It's utilized for these material upgrades here, plus their materials, right? In addition, it's also for as well as increasing their gear level. So utilized in all game modes here for all the characters in terms of leveling them up. And it becomes a very restrictive bottleneck. If you guys do not have gold, even if you have a boatload of power cores, even if you have a boatload of campaign energy, if you don't have a good amount of gold, you're not going to progress in the game, and that's not a bottleneck you want to face, because I do see that quite a bit with most players. And if you set a game plan for yourself in terms of budgeting, it's absolutely going to set you off on the right foot in terms of how efficiently you can manage your resources. So that was my little spiel on gold there. So if you guys have got this far, thank you for listening for the gold. I'm just going to briefly touch on the campaign energy and power cores here for their usage. So common sense, but really I'm just going to reiterate this. You guys know that campaign energy is obviously refreshed. I believe it's a point every 5 minutes. And with that being said, it does accumulate over time. So you never ever really want to make sure that you're never maxed out. Even if you guys are gone for a few hours in a day, maybe before you leave your house, just pop into the game and use the energy real quick, because the reason being is if this is maxed out, let's just say right now it's showing it as 21 out of 136, but if it was sitting at 136 out of 136 when I left the house, you know, obviously I can't gain any more, and that's just a lot of opportunity cost there, losing campaign energy when you could have gained it, right? So just make sure you guys are spending it, especially when you get a chance. Obviously life happens. If you can't use it, not the end of the world, but it's just a heads up. Additionally, always remember that you guys have those refreshes, right? So for me, it occurs, I believe, 3 to 4 times a day, but for my time, it's every 8 hours. So I believe it's 3 times. Every 8 hours it does refresh, and when that does refresh, you're gonna get campaign energy. You're gonna get the character event energy when those events are applicable. So I'll give you an example here. The character event that's upcoming now is going to be the Mojoverse Mayhem here for Shatterstar. So he's going to be coming to the game, and there's going to be another form of energy here that's a blue. I believe it's like a dark blue type of energy, and that's what I mean. You're going to be utilizing that one as well. Maybe it's more like purple, actually, purple energy. But yeah, you're going to be utilizing that one when it refreshes. And last but not least, there's also the ISO 8 one here. And this one is a little quicker. I don't believe it's one every 5 minutes. I think it's a quicker pace because I always feel like this one fills up before. And then something else to keep in mind too, you guys. I'm not sure if you noticed as well, but normally when you try to refresh these guys, it does actually cost power cores. However, as you do your daily objectives per day, it does build up an additional reserve up here. And as you can see here, I do have 150 out of 500. So what that means is I can actually refresh for 50 for the cost of 50 3 times today before it actually starts asking me for my power cores. So another thing to keep in mind when you guys are farming for characters and whatnot, and you don't need to farm the character yet, but you know upcoming there's going to be a legendary event where you need to farm someone very, very frequently and you don't want to spend power cores. Well, save this up, right? Because you get this naturally from completing your daily objectives here. Let me just show you here as a reward. If you go through here, let's see if I haven't done it yet. So the Heroes Campaign Progress awards you 25 right there, this energy refill. So you don't need to use it per day. You can stockpile this, and it goes up, as you can see to the top right, it goes up to 500, right? So I can actually fill this up quite a few more times and then prepare for when I need that energy. And that's what I did right now. Currently, I'm farming for Ebony Maw, the upcoming legendary. I believe it's going to be next week. But right now, farming for him, I'm going through my humans right now, and that's where I'm using my energy. I'm farming Karnak, I'm farming Miss Marvel, and I'm really glad I was smart about saving that energy over time. That same principle now, keep this in mind, it can also be applied to the ISO 8. So as you can see here, I have the 380 out of 500. So what I can do is I can just hit the 50 here, it refreshes it, beautiful. Now I can go ahead, go to one of my nodes that I like and farm. So I'll just choose one here. I personally am farming these materials, so that's why I'm going to this one. But that's what I mean. A great example of just being able to keep your resources and use it when you need it, right? Don't just use resources because it's available and you can splurge. Use it when the time is right, because that way it creates a more efficient game experience for you all. That's the campaign energy side overall. And last but not least, you guys, power cores. Another key resource in the game, and honestly, it's the one where I do believe that some people can buy quite a bit, but it's so expensive, and it does run it opens a lot of doors for a lot of players, and that's why it's important to be mindful of power cores. So power cores, fortunately, it can be generated in the arena here. So what you can do is go to your arena, you can hit rewards here, and you can essentially see where you fit in right now in terms of the overall arena and how much you're getting per day when you stick in that bracket. So for me, for me to get to the top 100, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I can. I'm seeing some significant higher teams already in my bracket that are 100, 150K punch-ups for me. So I don't know if I can even do it, but for me, if this is a comfortable range, I can sit here comfortably while dropping down to 250. I've been actually sitting at the rank 165 now for the last week or so. So I mean, it's just nice that I don't even have to maintain that, but I'm getting 100 power cores a day with the 550 arena credits. So that's what I'm liking. Find your balance in your arena that you like, that you're comfortable with, based on how active you are, and then take advantage of that as the map that you're going to be getting each day. You get power cores from the milestones that I mentioned earlier in the high roller. Last but not least, you also get power cores from completing your dailies. Let's see if there's any examples here. So yeah, all clear here gives you 25 in addition to the Blitz champion. So make sure you guys take advantage. Now let's talk about what do you use power cores for. Well, first and foremost, power cores is one of the only ways to actually refresh your character farming. So I'll give you an example. I was farming Miss Marvel earlier today. If I were to want to re-farm her node again, it cost me 50 here to refresh. But additionally, keep that in mind that you still need campaign energy, even if you refresh the fact that you can re-farm this node. So keep that in mind, you guys. Power cores have that unique ability to do that. So that means you don't want to be wasting power cores. So I'll give you an example, in my opinion, of how it's wasted. Unless there's a specific character in mind and you need it right away, and like for instance, a legendary unlock, I would never ever use this refresh in the top right here, because it's honestly just throwing 50 power cores that could have been better used to farm a node for a character. Or additionally, like as I touched on earlier for this campaign energy, if you guys don't have this refill up here, it normally costs 50 power cores to refresh this campaign energy, giving you fresh 120 energy immediately. So I mean, it's just better to be utilized like that, right? So personally, I think a boatload of power cores can be wasted in the supply store, especially if you go across here and you're looking for specific materials. I don't think it's a good idea. That's not my recommendation, but like I said, if you guys are in urgent need of a specific character, especially if it's a limited time like a legendary event, then I would argue the case. However, if you guys want to stockpile and build up your resources efficiently, I recommend saving power cores for 2 times only, and that's using it for either A, refreshing the node for farming characters, or B, it's going to be utilized for refreshing your campaign energy to maximize that value. Especially with the upcoming Shatterstar event, you know, power cores is a great way to get that energy back for farming the Mojoverse Mayhem. So there you guys have it. This is going to be part 1 of my video. In my next video, I am going to talk about the usage for the credits overall from the supply store. But that hopefully is enough information here to cover you guys for the gold, the campaign energy, and the power cores. So as always, you guys, I do appreciate you checking out my videos, and I hope this was able to provide some insight. These are things I wish I kind of knew when I started in the game. However, like I said, you know, you live and you learn, and you make the most of what you got. So as always, you guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.